Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone on this evening. We're getting some feedback there from the other speaker, but I'm Bill Steer and I'm here with fellow trustees. To my right, Julie Bertram from West Nipissing and members of the MYSP. We're members of the MYSP committee and we're accompanied here by the Director of Education to my immediate left, Lena Belasovich, Corporate Affairs Officer, Chris Walking, Assistant Principal, and we're all going to participate in this presentation tonight of the multi-year strategic plan. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Director Miles for a few words before we get into the meat of the presentation.
Thank you, Trustee Steer. I'd like to say welcome to everybody this evening that's joining us. This is a great opportunity for us to broadcast to the community what our multi-year strat plan looks like as we move ahead. We're always very proud of this plan. This plan takes a lot of work up front, internally, externally. We also generally engage in external consultants who are professionals in this field. So I can assure you it's a very deeply embedded initiative that we have in place, and everything we do falls within our multi-year strategic plan. And again, I'm proud to ensure that we follow our 4 pillars within that plan of excellence in teaching and learning, excellence in innovation, excellence in relationships, and excellence in communication. And all of that is captured under the umbrella of student achievement and well-being. That's everybody's focus in the board, as it should be. Students, are number one, and the entire multi-year strategic plan is surrounds that entire process with working with students. We do have a very rich program in our schools. Obviously, academically, extracurricular activities are always vibrant and ongoing, and they are also supported. Learning just doesn't occur inside the 4 walls of a classroom. So these opportunities are always presented for students to engage in, and different students have their different interests. So we try to meet those interests the best we possibly can. We do work toward a kindergarten to grade 12 education system that prepares students to succeed in life. Again, not all about the 4 walls of a classroom. We want to prepare students for their journey post grade 12 and whatever that looks like. There's lots of avenues students can take, and we want to ensure that students have the best skill set possible to pursue the interests that they may have. So having said that, I will again welcome you. I hope you enjoy our presentation, and I will turn this back to Trustee Steer. Thank you.
Yeah, the Officer of Corporate Affairs has prepared as well with a script and notes and the like, and we'll try to speak to it, not just read it, because we all know that that's not how education goes in the classroom. But nonetheless, in June of 2023, Bill 98 mandated this process, and the New Northwest School Board is ahead of the design and implementation. As the first slide indicates, we're 3 years in and more actually. And this is the 3rd time we've had this public presentation, and because again, through the Education Act and Bill 98, we were mandated to do so. And the MYSP has been introduced in a variety of ways, including virtual meetings in the past few years in all regions of the Near North System School Board. We've had all kinds of surveys to gather feedback, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to move on as we did in the spring session tonight. We'd like to walk you through the executive overview of the final version of the 2021-2026 plan, the MYSP as it's called. And then we'll take you through this through a variety of headings. We'll look at some data, because in the MYSP, there are a number of measurables that was decided upon before in the early days of before 2021 that we wanted to gather data on, and that will be covered off too. So we'll take the results of tonight's presentation, determine next steps. During and at the end of the presentation, there'll be questions and an opportunity for questions regarding the MYSP, and that can be done through the chat or online as you are tonight. And we'll take all this back to the board team. It will be on the Near North District School Board website. And we'll look forward to doing all this, and really glad to be here with you this evening. This MYSP was launched in September 2021. It was a result of more than 16 months of consultation and planning with communities and schools throughout the New York District School Board. Director Miles previously mentioned that a number of experts, and I heard McNanus on the radio this morning, Nanos Research, he was talking about the effect of Donald Trump on our economy, but nonetheless, he was engaged, Ramsey and Partners. There were at least two special ministry advisors that have helped us with this, Wayne Jodry and Wally Easton. That helped us to align the key goals and priorities and found in this document, and it's assessed on an ongoing basis. Now I'm going to turn it over to my right on the starboard side and turn it over to Trustee Bertram.
Thank you, Trustee Stair. So you want to know how to stay informed about our progress. In the spirit of excellence in communication, the NNDSB website has received many updates to make it far easier to find what you're looking for. Updates will be ongoing for several years. Numerous reports are available in the board meeting packages and online on the MYSP page. The MYSP committee receives quarterly progress reports and semi-annual reports based on 2 data points per MYSP priority, and they are presented to the entire board. This year is the ministry expectation for all school boards to post the Ministry Student Achievement Plan, or SAP, on their website by April 2nd, 2024. So the NNDSB SAP plan is posted on the MYSP page of our website. If you've not already, we encourage you to read each year the director's annual report to the Minister of Education. It's found on the website under the board tab. These reports show the significant efforts made by the NNDSB staff in the interest of student achievement and well-being. So what's in the document? I'll go through the pages. Page 1 to 10 includes an introduction, acknowledgement of our stakeholders and rights holders, and moves to demonstrating common themes in the data collected over several months prior to the design and creation of the plan. Page 11 is the vision, mission, and value statements. They reflect a board that is forward-thinking and desirous of an equitable culture of teaching, learning, and where staff, students, and their family caregivers and community stakeholders can thrive. Page 12 to 14 are the 4 priorities. This plan, this constitutes the overarching direction of the board over the next 5 years. The priorities serve as a compass point to which all planning takes place. The focus on these priorities has been drawn from the common themes that resulted from stakeholder input and research data. Now we're on to page 16 to 17. The board objectives are categorized here in academic, community, process, organizational, and financial goals. This provides the public with a view of the key MYSP objectives that ensure the board operates efficiently with the ultimate objective of student achievement and well-being. I'm going to turn it, I'm not going to turn it over. I'm going to stay talking, I think. Oh, I did it. You did it. So the school board and school staff plan all align goals to the same trajectory of student achievement and well-being. So the board plans align with the multi-year strategic plan. School plans are individualized and they're based on school context and areas of strength and greatest need. The post-COVID years are years of recovery for staff and students alike. Student baseline data is gathered and progress is measured to ensure strides are being made to close gaps in learning created by the pandemic. Planning allows for ongoing monitoring and assessment of achievement in reaching our core purpose of student achievement and well-being and progress towards excellence in MYSP priorities. I think I'm turning it over to Chris Wappling now.
You are.
All right.
Thank you. Officially launched in 2021, some of the terminology that's currently found in the MYSP document has changed. What was historically known as the Board Improvement Plan is now being called the student achievement plan, and as Trustee Bertram indicated, is now available on our website. The student achievement plan was launched under the Bill 98 Better Schools and Student Outcomes Act, and it introduced common priorities for student achievement across the province. The New North District School Board was particularly well positioned to receive this direction from the ministry in light of the work that's been done in the area of the multi-year strategic plan. The common priorities across the province are recognized as achievement of learning outcomes and core academic skills, preparation of students for future success, and student engagement and well-being. The student achievement planning framework, as you can see in this slide, is used by boards to implement plans at the system and school level. Many of the indicators that are found on this document indicate measures of success, but would have already been considered as part of the development of the multi-year strategic plan. As part of the implementation of the new student achievement plan, there's considerable amount of work by New North District School Board staff to align the student achievement planning indicators and priorities with the multi-year strategic plan, ultimately building coherent processes for the system. During the spring consultation period, members of the public had opportunities to provide input on the plan. The alignment of the 4 priorities includes the consideration of the 4 pillars of the multi-year strategic plan, as well as the historical priorities that would have been situated in the board improvement plan. The QR code available on the screen right now provides an opportunity for families to provide feedback on the student achievement planning priorities. Again, this is a survey that continues to live on our board website as we continue to take feedback on the work that's being done and the plans that occur around the new provincial priorities. You will find in some of the baseline measures that some of the data or information that's been shared to inform the plan was from 21-22, and that's at the direction of the ministry as a baseline for the initiation of the report. As well, we'd like to recognize that much of the information sits a mile high. When we talk about quantitative data, we recognize there's also a need to get down to what we would call the street level and hear from the voices of students, families, staff, and the ongoing work in service of student achievement and well-being. This book has informed much of our work with school leaders and as well as our system planning efforts to ensure that we're also gathering voice and responding to the lived experience of students. In that vein, it's important that when we recognize and engage in planning, we consider the regional context, the experiences of students in northeastern region of Northern Ontario, largely rural and isolate populations, lower population density, cultural references and context, and climate and weather certainly contribute to indicators and outcomes. If we think about the goals, to improve students' literacy learning and math learning tied to core academic skills. The ministry has mandated that we include and publish ongoing outcomes in the area of grade 3, 6, 9, and 10 EQL measures for math assessment and literacy. This includes the grade 10 Ontario Secondary School Literacy Test. And as part of the plan, we are also able to consider leading indicators. So when we look at those, we might say, okay, that happened in that year. It's an indicator, it's a snapshot in time. The board has the latitude to include leading indicators such as additional measures in the area of literacy. And as an example, some of the provincial leading work in the area of literacy has resulted in almost 100% of our students being screened, not only in the K-2 space, which is mandated, but from kindergarten through to grade 8. And this is actionable data. This actually is information that helps to inform the instruction and response to student needs across the elementary panel. When we look at student engagement and well-being, ultimately the goals include to improve students' participation in class time and learning, as well as to improve student well-being as a whole. And attendance is a considerable consideration, particularly on the heels of the COVID-19 pandemic and increasing student participation in class time. We also consider suspension rates in students grades 4 through 12, as well as the percentage of students in grades 6, 9, and 10 who report being aware of mental health supports. This is a trend around the percentage of students who have attended 90% or more of instructional days. And what we can see is that although there's considerable impact in the post-pandemic system, we also recognize that the trend towards fewer students reaching this benchmark began before. So we continue to reach out, work with communities, partners at the school level and at the system level to support increased percentages of students reaching the benchmark for participation. Every 2 years, we gather a school climate survey, and this is an effort to ensure that student voice is part of our plan and that we respond appropriately to measure a sense of belonging. So when we talk about informing actions at the school and system level to promote inclusive and positive school climates, this becomes critical information that helps to guide our plan and our responsive actions. Preparing students for future success ultimately improve student graduation rates and preparedness for future success. Well, there are a number of measures that help to inform success in this area. One is the number of students, or the percentage of students who participate in job skills program. This is another highlight for the New North District School Board. We have a robust set of specialist high skills major programs that orient students to future avenues into careers in specific sectors locally and abroad. When we look at the graduation rate, that being the percentage of students who graduate with an Ontario secondary school within 5 years of starting grade 9, we see that across the province, almost 90% of students are successfully graduating after 5 years. In 22-23, which is the most recently released ONSIS data, the New North District School Board has had almost 84% of our students graduate within 5 years. And again, going back to that regional context, it's important that we recognize that within the unique circumstances in the North, the students in the New North District School Board are outperforming other boards at this time. And beyond that, again, when we think about additional measures that we would consider help to lead conversations and actions in response to student needs, if we're recognizing that 16 credits at the end of grade 10 is a predictor of future graduation success, certainly we also monitor the number of students who are reaching 8 credits by the end of grade 9. We recognize the power of specialist high skills major programs when student interests and future career pathways are a catalyst for learning. We see higher degrees of success and increased graduation rates. 94.4% of students in SHSM programs graduated within 5 years. And lastly, monitoring students' sense of preparedness at key transition points in the learning trajectory. So that being from grade 8 to grade 9, making sure that students have opportunities to share their readiness for the next step in learning. They transition from elementary to secondary. And lastly, to share an invitation for families to again, share their feedback around these priorities. Specifically, we welcome ideas around how we can ensure that the priorities that are valued within each school community are shared with our central and school staff, so that again we can respond in appropriate pace. Thank you.
Sorry for the delay. I gave our controller of the slides a set of slides that aren't matching up with what we're doing. My apologies for that. So basically, it is important for us to share in the spring and in the fall in these sessions some budget-related information. The Ministry of Education provides most of the operating revenue for publicly funded school boards through core education funding. This includes funding for classroom staffing, learning resources, special education, school facilities, student transportation, and school board administration. Changes to the funding formula structure have strengthened funding transparency for families and parents by ensuring it is spent for the purpose intended, while continuing to balance the need for flexibility across school boards based on their local needs. The core ed structure has a renewed enveloping framework
with the majority of funding focused on classroom and learning resource supports, including government priority areas such as special education, Indigenous education, mental health and wellness, and safety and well-being. Consistent with other Northern Ontario boards, student transportation is a significant expense for our district. And the chart shows you that funding ratio. So given that the purpose of this meeting is basically to review the strategic plan, we'd ask that you keep questions and feedback to the scope of the strategic plan. We always welcome your questions with the person that can answer them the best. So we do have a parent communication protocol in play. But we'd like you to know that we are particularly interested if you have any questions regarding the plan. So we would love to hear from you. We can hear from you right now. We can hear from you in the survey tool that Chris shared earlier. We also have a survey link on the MYSP page. And I believe that Chris has an opportunity right now with this QR code for parents to reach forward with questions that you have for us right now. We're just going to flip quickly back to the QR code.
Maybe forward, sorry, it's the next
Right.
slide, I think. I'll go keep going. One more.
One more.
There you go.
There it is. Mm-hmm.
So I'll put the link directly in the chat for the meeting, just so that it's accessible in case people don't have a.
And once that link is in the chat, we'll wait a few minutes to see if there are any questions. It's okay if you don't have any questions right now. The survey is live for you tonight and will remain so until the end of December, as far as I know. So you can always add in questions there. And as Trustee Steer pointed out before, we do collect those questions and we put them into the MYSP page on our question and answer section of the page. So is it live, Chris?
It is live in the chat.
Okay.
And
so we'll wait a couple of minutes. And while we're waiting, do we want to go back to Trustee Steer?
We can. What did we learn tonight? I mean, this is we always ask that question. What did we learn tonight? We learned about the evolution of this current MYSP. We know there's a name change to the Student Achievement Plan. We had an overview of the key indicators and what our goals and objectives are, and about gathering data. And we've heard several times, and that's where we are right now with the QR code. And at any time you can gather feedback, or you can provide feedback. And we always urge people to start with the student's teacher and then the principal. And of course, there is a well-founded process with regards to how we communicate within the board. And all boards are the same. The trustees' role, as you know, we have under the Education Act, trustees do not deal with operations. Trustees deal with the review of the budget. We look at the director's performance appraisal. We look at policies, and that's our major role. And so the MYSP plan, it is a standing under the Education Act. It is a standing committee, meaning that everything we do as far as board operations and the like revert back to the MYSP. So if you attend board meetings, you would see that staff constantly refer to those key pillars, those key priorities in the MYSP. The directors report monthly and at the year end have to be aligned with the MYSP. And so this is our document, and this is your document. It really reflects upon the whole nature of the Near North District School Board. Whether you're driving the bus, or you're an EA, or you're a custodian, you're a teacher, you're an administrator, whatever your position might be. And of course, it all boils down to student success and well-being. We've heard that from the director, you hear it from staff all the time, and that's what we do in education. And other than that, I've probably talked for 2 minutes, and I don't think there's been any questions in the chat or otherwise. And so again, we'll remind everyone, the QR code remains alive probably till the end of December. You can go on anytime. This session will be on the website, and as my colleague, Julie Bertram has said, everything is on the website. We urge people to go there. That's the nature of where we are in society. All the information is there. We are, of course, by law, have to be very transparent, and we are guided by so many things under the Education Act. I will bid you adieu. I wanted to thank Glenn, who's been off camera, and Chris, Leanna, the director, is beside me, and Julie to my right. And we'll bid you adieu until the next time. And thank you for participating. And good night.